Welcome to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
Good evening to all our wonderful viewers all over the world, and welcome to Face program. I am your host, your brother, Prince Ewemade Concourse. Tonight, we are going to be discussing about the negative experience that you may have witnessed or observed during your period of living in the Western world or the Western atmosphere. That's what we're going to be discussing about tonight. Despite the perceived allure of life in Western nations, African migrant communities residing within the Western nation may have one or twice experienced some kind of negative effect over the course of continuing to reside in the Western worlds or Western climes, like we may refer to it. These are some of the programs that we are going to be discussing tonight. We also going to take a step backward from the usual English, also bring it down to the level of the average Nigerians on the street, the commoners. So we'll be also dissecting or digesting or diluting our conversation in Pidgin English. So, like I said, we are going to be talking about these issues, whatever you may have encountered, experienced, things that you might have observed over your course of living in the Western world or the Western atmosphere. That's what we're going to be discussing about tonight, because there's quite a lot of things that we want our fellow compatriots all over the world, east, west, south, from all the way from the United States, Canada, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, UK, Europe, wherever part of the continent, South Africa, South America, North America, whatever part of the continent that you're going to be joining us or watching this program from today, we want you to be able to express some of the things, the negative effect, some of the things you might have encountered over your course of residing in those nations. So we're gonna talk about some of the things where you don't experience for Western world. Me as the anchor of this program, I will still talk about some of the things where I don't see, and I will also provide solution to some of the things where I believe need to be done. So as I just did, as I was talking to you guys, my very own brother, my friend, who is going to be a part of this program as long as this program exists, is just joined us on this studio. And going forward from next week, Wednesday, we're going to have a program where people can call in and discuss about some of the issues, things that might have occurred over their life living in the Western world. So we want our people to start getting the first-hand information, because they said lack of knowledge is what most of our people suffer today. The reason we are where we are as a nation or as a continent is because of lack of knowledge. If those who have come before us have explained to us, or have also gave us the kind of leeway for us to understand what the Western world is all about, perhaps most of those who found their way through one way or the other means to come to the Western world might not have been here today. So going forward from next week, Wednesday precisely, there's going to be a phone number that is on my screen where you can call into the program and tell us how you feel anywhere in the world, wherever you reside, as long as you're Nigerian or African, because I'm a Nigerian first. I'm also a Pan-African who believe in the Pan-African movement. So we want you to tell us exactly what you feel, what you've experienced in your country of abode, what you think might be the solution to a way out of it. So let me bring my brother, my friend, a distinguished gentleman, a man that speak, like, in my own opinion, a man that speak the Queen's English. For me, I see him as a British. He doesn't belong to the Nigerian territory. He's a British man. Let me bring him over. He like to speak English. For me, I'm not too much of an Englishman, but I get the word done. Let me bring him over. My
Hey,
very
my
own
dear,
brother, Chief MD. Yeah.
I be proper Asa man to the core, proper, full-blooded from Ahmed Osha, Papa from Odogbe, Mama from Ukoni, pure breed, no mistake. Pure breed. Not like, this English now money we tell them, so make we just use. I may not be like say we spoil am, but the rest of it, Omiaba, pure breed, Asa man, no
Oh yeah,
dilution,
wow. Oh yeah, wow.
straight up.
Greetings. I greet you in the name. I greet you, as my
I
brother,
greet
in
you,
the
my
most in the
brother.
name of the Most High, Almighty God. How are you today? Happy Sunday to you and your family.
Same to you and all the audience watching. It's a great day. It's an honorable day, and it's a great privilege day. It's a good thing. Every time we come together, I feel really
Thank
blessed,
you.
and I feel the opportunity to share
Thank you so
some
much.
of
Thank
our
you.
own joint concerns. So thank you for always having me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Going forward, I'm going to have you on every of my program because I've just
Amen.
introduced something new into my program whereby
Mm.
Nigerians, Africans, indeed, will be able to call into the program and tell us exactly where they're calling from. One, two, what the country they reside in. Three, how do they feel? How they do the kind of treatment they get from their country of residency, what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
They need to tell us so that we can also, you and I can also educate Nigerians and Africans going forward. Because you know what? People think that we that live in the diaspora, it's all that rosy. We are living in an atmosphere where everything is provided for us, but they don't see what we see. We are here. Like there's a saying in my place that no cow is or having a in English, you the person that goes in front of you in the stream knows how deep the stream is.
Mm-hmm.
You and I,
That's
we
right.
live here in the diaspora. We know how deep it is. We know what is going on exactly. Nobody can come here now and baboozle you or bamboozle me because you know
Nowhere.
why? We already know what's going on. We know what time is it.
We know the scope.
But those in
That's
Nigeria
right.
selling their properties, who are selling their properties, selling all their life in what they've suffered for in Africa in order for them to come here and clean somebody's house. They don't understand what we're going through. They don't understand what is going on. Yes, we're enjoying the luxury of life. We're enjoying the electricity, the good roads, the good healthcare, and all the things that comes with it. But again, is that all to it when it comes to living your life to the full potential? It is not, in my own opinion. So let me quickly take us to the first my first question to you, my brother. I want you to share with my audience some of the negative experience that you might have encountered over your decades of residing in the Western world. The floor is for you, sir.
First, yeah, thank you. First thing first, the thing is just for purpose of clarity. I want to be very clear and say it is very difficult to tell someone with all the passion that they want to run away from Africa, not just Nigeria, and say don't. Because if you calculate all the money you use to process visa, buy tickets, and everything, if you put that together, If na Lagos they live, you come up for Lagos, go Edo State, go Ogun State, go Abeokuta, go Kano, Kaduna, any other place. You can start a business afresh. It's very difficult because the inspiration or the aspiration for something better is there. However, then again, we in Nigeria, we Nigerians that live in the diaspora are also not making people understand the reality of it. Like last time when we talked, where a doctor and a lecturer sold all their inheritance just for them to come and live in UK and to be a care worker. And at the end of the day, they are looking at their hello, something happened, or you went off, or we went off.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you, but
Can
your
you hear
line
me?
is having some kind of. I can see you.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can see you, but your line is having a
We
stereo.
went off for a bit.
No, I'm online. No, I'm online. I can see you. The enemy is at work. Can you see me? Can you see me?
Now UK, they are not in Nigeria. My line is
Hello?
connected directly, so it's directly from my broadband
I can
to
hear
the
you.
computer.
I can see you. Can you hear me? I can see you. I can hear you. But sometimes, some of this and the enemies of progress, those who does not want this information that we are trying to share to go out there in the public domain, they try to interrupt in our system. But nevertheless, we are not going to mind them. We're going to focus on the message. If you can hear me, continue from where you stop. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, we're back. We're back now. I can see you now. We are so saying.
Okay, you can see me now. Now I can see you. I can see you. I've been seeing you on the screen.
Very difficult for you to tell someone who has already preconditioned their mind that life will be better. Yeah, I'm back on again. Should I carry on? I'm back on. I don't know what can blame.
I can see you. I can see you.
Yeah,
You're on screen. I can see you, and I'm sure my audience can see you.
I can see you too as well. Good. Back to my point. Like I was saying, I say it's very difficult to tell people who believe that unless they leave the country, their fortune will never change, their aspiration will never change. It's very difficult. But another thing is, those of us who did the diaspora, when we go back home, we are very dishonest in telling them the truth, how living and surviving here. Now, when you just come to UK, will take you averagely 3 to 5 years before you even figure your footing. And let's eliminate the paper or no paper level, because some people come with COS, healthcare things, some come as student visa. After that runs out, the whole thing of getting your regularity of your paper, then immigration, and said it takes averagely 10 years or more in some cases. However, the living here is another thing. Being able to survive here, it takes a lot of many things for it to be, because one, apart from the paper thing, the level for somebody who is a professor already in Nigeria to come here before he can get to the level of becoming a lecturer to a professor level, is going to take an average of 10 years of what he's already achieved. So they're very comfortable. And many of these people, when they come to UK, who's at the top of their game in Nigeria, they are okay to do a menial job because of the societal provision, good road, security, constant electricity, and good school. Many of these people sell their fortune to come to UK. Most of their kids are in a private school, very expensive schools. They come here, their kids are in public school. And they are all good schools. My kids went to public schools as well. And they are very, very good schools compared to Nigeria. See, that lifestyle choice is the problem. That lifestyle direction is the problem. And so in that Nigeria also, hello, in that Nigeria, there are quite a lot of other people as well who are very, very successful, and they're not living in Nigeria, neither is their kids live in Nigeria. Even when their kids leave Nigeria to go study, they all come back, go to the north. That's very common with northern people. When their kids come to abroad, they all come back because they create opportunity for them, either in the government or in their business. But my key point is, living in the West, the thing where our eyes they see, there are very few of it that our mouth they talk for people outside to appreciate. Although there are some success, because I see some in UK, there's some Nigerians getting to be a mayor of some cities. Mayor of a city, you have nothing, you have no power, nothing, it's just a ceremonial thing. You do the nationality thing, you do all this, it's just a ceremonial thing. So it's not a big deal. But when it comes to successful growth, it's either you like Kemi Badenoch or look at the Black minority and Asians in the political space in conservative in this country. It's either for you to be able to grow in a society like this, you have to have self-hate. You have to have self-hate to the point that you hate your people, you are constantly attacking your people, you are saying derogatory thing about them, you hate them with everything, they promote you. Even look at the GB News, the black lady, the Ghanaian black lady there. She does not see anything good about Africa, and she look like a charcoal. She black past black and war like a goat, even goat fine past her. But she's constantly attacking African people, African country, even with Megan and everything. Those are the kind of people they want to promote. On the other side, look at Dr. Shola, who is full-blooded Nigerian, highly skilled, highly educated lady, who is totally pro-Africa, pro-black, pro-Nigeria. She's constantly being attacked because she said the truth, and she's unafraid, unabashed. She's constantly being attacked. Occasionally, I've brought into a TV program only for her to be ganged up and attacked, but she knows how to hold her ground. Her Nigerian blood strong. She knows how to hold her ground. And if you die down into a normal living society or a job, you see, you are more experienced, more qualified, work. You are more experienced, more qualified where you're working. And the moment you voice your head or try to show an advancement, they'll think you're arrogant and they'll try to cut you down, whereas they're promoting themselves. And that is expected. I remember a court case, a Ghanaian guy that worked with Acne Council for a long time, highly educated, they kept on promoting people who are not black, Asian like him, over him. And these are the people who even train. And at some point, you have to take them to court. He won $500,000 because there was evidence. And why? This is Acne Council. And why? Because it's a Ghanaian. Even though he has acquired his British citizenship then, he's still an African. So when you see things like that, if you want to live in this country and you're happy to be an average human being, the security guard, the cleaner, just very average, that's okay. But if you have aspiration to be a greater than that, the level of sacrifice you're willing to give by self-denying, cultural denying, and try to be like them, and anytime opportunity comes for you to stand for your people, you disown them, you disgrace them, or you call them names, you are then celebrated and brought to the mainstream because you become one of them. Self-hating black people. Those are the alternative people that actually grow in this country. And I can list Kemi Badenoch, what's his name, who is an MP in Congress, themselves self-loathing. So is that the kind of person you want to be in order for you to be averagely successful? There are many Nigerians who are successful here who are not associated with the government and everything. If you go through the private enterprises, that's why I see a lot of Nigerians decide to set up their business in UK. They try to set up their own schools, their college, their training, their account, because they've got to a point in the company where they cannot go any further. I'm like, F it. I'm the brain behind this place now. Let me go set up my own thing. So, but those Nigerians in Nigeria, there don't see that. They don't see the struggle. They don't see the challenges. All they see is the good living. You go to Nigeria with £5,000, you're a millionaire. You spend 2-3 weeks, you are out. But even if you have £5,000, I mean, how much thing can you do with it? To be honest, I can take you to a restaurant whereby you eat is about £1,000 just to have a dinner plus. You understand? So those are the kind of things that we don't communicate to Nigerians and everything. But the point is, if we also look at the Nigerians that are coming, these are the professionals, the middle class. There are more middle class in Nigeria coming now than ever before. Back in the days, is the poor and below average even they come, sir, because they come, they get security job, they fine. But now professionals, nurses, doctors. My older brother run an hospital. And he was talking, said they've lost close to about 300 nurses. They have residents in hospital, over 300 nurses and so many specialist doctors, specifically to UK and Canada. That their level of recruitment, now they are recruiting professional doctors from UK to come and do a specialist treatment in Nigeria and paying them a fortune. Whereas the specialists they live in, not even about payment anymore. It's just the comfort of life. Just to live where there's constant electricity, there's good road, and you can live without any stress. Like my house, most time we know the lock our door. Even the other day, outside the house, you park, we leave our car, they will not lock the car for days. For days, nothing happened. My Range Rover, I leave for travel. I park at the back of the side. The window of one side was winded and the door wasn't locked for almost 3 weeks before my wife found out. And nothing happened. Nothing was missing. You cannot even do that inside your compound in your own house and park your car without locking it. Even though you lock your gate, then go carry the car, throw away and pass your gate in Nigeria and steal the car, let alone. So those are the things. So I can't really blame those who are frustrated and want to leave. Now we there need to also tell them the reality. When I was contesting as governor of Edo State and I was going around the rural place, but I'm not going to lie to you, the level of poverty, the level of bad road, the level of nothingness. When you say absolute nothingness, it's painful to see that you see somebody and you give them just 10,000. It'd be like say you give them 1 million. You see somebody with a dry cassava go sell and eat some as they are living. Of course, they don't get light bill, electricity because no light, nothing. They get one well. But imagine if they fall sick. Imagine that child they have decided okay, they won't go to university or college. They're screwed. Now, that child don't get opportunity to go to university because there's no public funding, nothing. That child now suddenly see this uncle or this brother who is coming in and everything and say, you're from UK. What do you think that child would think? He would think, I want to go there to prosper. Or that man, I want to go there to prosper. I don't see myself going to Lagos or waiting in Lagos soon. And that's the problem. And we, Nigerians, here must get involved in politics of Nigeria. That is the worst thing that is happening. We will be there because we are not engaged. We talk a lot about Nigeria and everything, but we're not engaged. Get involved in the politics. Become a party person. Know who's your local ward chairman. Know who's your local government chairman, regardless the party. Find out who he is. Start calling him like mad and say what you can do to support. That local school in your village or your community, that local road, or go do this road. What do you need? We in diaspora are ready to do something. Find out your own local government. Don't even think of the whole state. Chairman is a PDP man, Dr. Kelly. It's a personal friend. Anytime I go Uromi, I always reach out to him. And it's a pastor, it's a PDP man, no. Not be APC, not be Labour, pure PDP man. We talk. We've shared so much ideas. So many things he wants to tried to do. And regardless the party, that's still my local government. Sorry. The thing they pay me small. I don't want to talk too much because if they pay my belly.
I understand, my brother. I understand you very well, and I understand where you're coming from. Comparing both countries, when you look at the UK where you reside, and you look at your birthplace, Nigeria, is totally incomparable. The reason is that the way the way things are done in the UK and things are done in Nigeria, you cannot comprehend why Nigeria cannot get their ass together, which I understand very well as a Nigerian and someone who was born and bred up in Nigeria. I understand very well. Could you? That takes me to my next question in line. Could you please elaborate on the specific challenge that you've encountered while residing in the UK or in the Western world? You fit tell us some of the experience where you don't experience for the UK where you did. We go make you begin the reason say, I wish I did my country.
The truth of the matter is this: I've lived in UK, I've traveled around Europe, and I live considerable amount of time in America. That's one of the reasons I know I have to go back home. I don't grow old rich enough to know, say, old age not go make me pass like this for this country. You see, unless we are honest, you see, we Nigerians living here, the reason why we can excel a little bit, we have this mentality. This is not my home. So we have a high level tolerance for bullshit. See, now with some time, I go back, but you go back 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, go. No, you don't, but your Peking don't turn to British, they are here. You understand? So we have a high level of tolerance or looking the other way because this, not my country after all, even though I'm a British citizen born or inherited, it's not my country. You understand? So we have that high level of tolerance. But the truth of the matter is the level of tolerance does not eliminate the discrimination. From day-to-day racism, from lack of opportunity or limited progress, or even limited progress. You understand? If you are a black-owned businesses, you try to apply for public funds, the scrutiny on you is very, very high. I work as a consultant for many organizations in the care industry, helping them to set up care home or manage care home and care agents. The level of scrutiny they put on you, and I see non-African businesses that are Asian, white, and everything, and the level of scrutiny or demand they put, I can tell the parity. The reason why I became a specialist on it because I have a variable client base, and I see how I need to juggle some things. This is a common thing. I even have an Asian company, and I said, listen, and another company who is an African. I said, you guys are too ethnic. In order for them to be able to get their fund, hello? I said, in order for them to be able to, you need to put a white name and a white face in the interface. Hello?
I can hear you. I'm here.
Hello?
I can hear you. I can see you. I can hear you.
For me, like okay. Like I was saying, for me, like I was saying to this couple of this small organization that in order for you to have a successful pathway and quick response, you need a face and a name that is not Asian or African. My name is Daniel Martins. I have a middle long name, which name, but I normally use Daniel Martins, and it allows so many things to get through until they see my face or something. And I have to play that game. I just said an organization the organization blew overnight because they employ one person as a project manager who is an English person. I And me and the guy, we just put the quality assurance in everything, and everything was just running smooth. I did that with another black-owned business. So you need to employ a white person, a white lady preferred. So when the quality people come, the funding people come, this is the person that is interacting with them. Or else you ain't gonna get anything. And that was it. And that might be subtle. I say, like, we Nigerians, we know we understand the game. So we have tolerance. But imagine the second, third generation black, or African born here. That would be very off. They wouldn't take that likely or acceptable. Understand? They will be flare up. Like, what the hell? This is why you see second, third generation Jamaicans. People tend to judge them as if they've not been successful. But they're not judging them, saying, you know what, these people are facing the worst kind of discrimination that's made them less productive than their first generation parents that came with the boat to come and work as the sort of labor in UK. Because those are first generation of the Caribbeans that came, they were okay working, doing average job, doing the cleaning, the hospital, the security, even though they were being abused, no black, no Irish, yeah, and they were able to tolerate it. Because back of their mind, they said this is not their home. Come to the third, fourth, fifth generation of those people, they won't tolerate it. Hence, you can see the demise of the Caribbean people in the public space in UK. Because they see themselves, and this is their home as British as home can be, but the discrimination never left. Hence the reason many of us who get children here always tell them about Africa. Always encourage them to visit. Always let them know where they're from, their ancestors' ground, and let them visit. And let them know who they are, so that they're not defined by what they hear or see. I'll give another example. Watch the TV news to see how discrimination works. If a black person, I'm not condoning crime, if a black person do something, let's say he run a traffic light and he jam another car, the first thing the news will say is black. That's the color the first of all will. Not black man run through it like then kills or go and jam somebody, even though it's an accident. You understand? They don't even know if it's male, female, old, young, it's number one black. Then they're now telling the story. Maybe then the evidence was, oh, no, it wasn't him that ran through the light. It's the other guy that didn't stop for the light, then they jam each other. But what they will say, then they will now rephrase the story. The black person was impatient because the other person run through it. They will never even mention the other person. Somebody, someone. They will even try to avoid the gender to protect the person. So they don't want it to be, oh, white male or white female. They will never say the color, even protect the gender. Someone, until they get official this. When they get official person, they don't express the color. They'll just say the man. They'll say the person name as in neutralizing it. There is no, it's not about gender or color. But they will always say the black person. They will always say the black person color first. So be scared of a black man. Most especially you say black man. And that's the way they perpetuate this narrative. Black is dangerous. Black is to be scared, necessarily black men. And if you are me, that have a culture, a tradition, and a place, it's easy for me to outlook and say, I'm going back home one day. You understand? But imagine the second, third generation where many Caribbean kids are facing, because this is all they have. So when they hear that, they get irate, they get deeply wounded. And that's a problem. And that is why we Nigerians here, not only are we teaching, you always need to tell your kids the right to return back home is a must. It's a must. It's a must. You understand? And that's it. Heaven forbid if I was to die here, cremate me and take my body, the ashes home and spray on the land of my fathers, of my forefathers. You understand? That's it. So the level of grief, Look at the thing that happened. Many students now in universities in UK that were supporting the UK economy, paying almost 12,000 a year, they're chasing them back. All the pretense that they're reducing immigration. If you take foreign students out of which 80% of them are Nigeria, many British universities will close down. There's over 900,000 jobs available today in UK, as they say. 80% of these new jobs have been taken over, the middle and working class jobs have been taken over by foreigners, most especially Nigerians. How many of these so-called British white people are training their kids to become a care worker? Those white people you see that became a care worker today, these are the destitute, the low of the lowest. You have a professor from Nigeria, you have a care worker. You see the difference. Look at the white people doing the media job. They are the worst, the lowest of the lowest people. And those white people, when they do a couple of training in that job, they would make them your manager, even though you're a professor. They will tell you, oh, she has more experience because she's been doing it for over a year or 2 years or 3 years before you join. Whereas you're an academician, you can take over. Management does not require much. Money is an application of knowledge. You understand? I remember there's a care home that have a problem. And one of the problem they have is service delivery. And when I got there, I look at their staff background, from the receptionist to the manager to the core team leaders and everything. They have no proper training or background. In-house training they've done have not expanded beyond the mandatory and a couple of other training. And I said to them, you need more professional qualified people. You need more qualified people. The qualified people CV I got, they are majority black. Not because of I looked at it, they bring up, and I see where the problem is. They're afraid because majority of their clients are, not black. So they're afraid to bring in the qualified people who are not as one of them. And they don't want all their management to be over. I say you have two choices. Right now you're in a
Thank you,
desperate
thank you.
position. You can get these people for and you lose your CQC, you can keep looking for equivalent. And the point is, the equivalent white person with a level 5 with a qualification public and everything to bring in, or a nurse, is asking for an arm and a leg because they know they can go anywhere. So for me, I'm sorry to say that.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Yes, as you're saying, for me, this is not bed of roses. There's more opportunity in Nigeria. Don't sell your house, don't sell your car, don't sell your land.
Thank you
If
so
you sell
much.
and come up for Lagos,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. Before we continue, let me just show there's a book that was written by my humble self. The book is called Migrant on the Siege. I'm going to give you a little bit of the background on this book. This is just one of more than 10 books of mine that is currently on Amazon. The Migrant on the Siege book is chronological narration that unravels the dark side of the Western nation and how migrants are being systematically discriminated against. The memoir recounts touching stories of how migrants, especially those of African descent, are being systematically, economically, socially kept under siege in the Western nation. The book is a piece with an interesting story of actual events, which mirrors all areas of human life outside the shores of African continent. It offers hopes to those who are trapped in the so-called democratic nations. I urge every one of you, type the word migrant on the siege and the book will come out. You can order a copy, or you can wait a little bit for dynastyprincebook.com to become available, where you can download and read the book with a subscription of a monthly, quarterly, or yearly fee. But if you want the hard copy of the book, you can order it by tapping the word migrant on the siege. The book, again, is a chronological narration that unravel the darkest side of Western nation. Stories that you will read from this book is not on the media, it's not on the print, it's not on any front page of any newspaper, but you'll be able to read undiluted from this very book. It's about 161 pages book. Whatever you need to know about Western nation, from United States, Canada, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, Europe, and every part of the continent. You'll be able to read from this book. It's a piece that summarizes everything that you need to know, especially when it comes to the negative experience that people might have experienced over their course of residing in the Western nations. You'll be able to read on this very particular book. I have quite a lot of interesting book. I'm an author on the other side. You'll read, I have a couple of books that also, that probably will be, that will change the narrative for Africans and Nigerians and African per se. For example, there's a book also, if you type the word refugee project, it's on Amazon. It's one of my book. My Ghosts Will Haunt You is another book that is coming out in the next a week or so. It should be on Amazon. This 3 book, I have over 10 books on Amazon, but these 3 books will change your perspective when it comes to Western nation. I also have another book that probably will be on Amazon in another 2 weeks. It's called Step by Step Legal and Migration from Africa, authored by Prince Ewomade Konkant. That's also one of my book. And also there's another book, Nigeria Abandoned by Citizens. That's also one of my book. I'm asking you that you should type this word that I've just stated on Amazon. You'll be able to read more so you can understand the negative experience that people like us, people like Chief MD and others who have come before us might have experienced in the Western nation. All that glitters are not gold. I want you to remember that. All that glitters are not gold. People are selling their properties. People are selling their life and all they've suffered for in order for them to seek for a different part of the world that they think the grass is more greener than where they currently reside. But the story is different. Where you are is far better more than where you think we are. We are here because the situation demand. When you spend most of your life, most of your adulthood, or most of your young, youthful age in a society, it is difficult for you to relocate back. That's why you see most of Nigerians, Africans, indeed, are stuck where they are today. We live in a democratic society where people think they are democratic in values, but the story is quite different in action and in words. Let me take you back, my brother, Chief MD.
Yeah.
If let's go back, my next question to you Do you believe that foreigners often face intentional adversity in their host country? Can you hear me? Hello?
You're breaking. I can't hear you properly. I didn't hear the question properly. I apologize.
Okay, sorry.
Hello?
Let me rephrase the question. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, my next question for you is, do you believe that foreigners often face intentional adversity in their host countries?
What was the first part of that? I didn't get the first part. Sorry.
Do you believe that foreigners often face intentional adversity in their host countries?
Of course. And it's not just intentional, it's calculated evil. You understand? I'll tell you for fact, the way the pension scheme work in this civilized society is very clear. They need new workers, younger workers to work and pay taxes in order for the pension pot to be able to pay the current retirees and others and many to join in. Across Europe, the aging population is increasing, the birth rate is decreasing very rapidly, faster than the speed of light. An average European gets to her 30s before she could have kids. And now with UK for the last 20 years, I'm very sure they've restricted benefit to just 2 kids. Why did they do that? They did that not because they think, oh no, this is good economically. They did that because they realized, most especially the Asians, they have like 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, and they're all on benefits. You understand? And they see the average white are having 1 or 2 kids maximum, which you understand. So they passed a law in order to deprive that and say, you know what, we don't want to pay for the extra any of 2 kids. So without looking at it, will affect their own people who already birth rate already dropped, rather than looking at way to sustain that and everything. So in essence, look at the politician. Rather than addressing the economic issues within the state, they use immigration as a weapon. The immigration, like in UK, have been decreasing, have been falling. So it's been falling, but there's no way to go than to start using that as a weapon, looking at student, migrant, and everything. Before UK left EU, the bulk of the immigration that came to UK were from EU countries. We were from EU countries, and they have right to move in for physically. But influx of people from Africa and opening up. Many Africans are now migrating within Africa for business. Go to South Africa, see a lot of Nigerians and across Africa as well. You understand? So, and the thing they never tell their citizens is the honesty. Without Nigerian migrants in UK university will collapse. They will be being subsidized by the government, and it will not be sustainable. Without foreign workers in the healthcare field, from nurses, doctor, the NHS will collapse. They don't have enough nurses, enough doctors that are white or care workers. And those people are paying heavy taxes to finance their own pension. And that's the fact. Go to around London. 90% of the service workers there, if no more, are foreigners. How many white people train their kids to be a bartender? How many of them training them to be a care worker? Countries are constantly community, more children, no white babies, but they won't do that because the moment they try to do that, it means the non-white people will also benefit. And the mind that non-white people also benefit, their population will also grow. That's the reason why in America today they don't have a public health care. The reason why they don't have a public health care is only the 13% of black people will benefit just as much as the rest white people will benefit more. So they are against public health care. Even though there are more white people dying of lack of public health care. That's the old history of America. The so-called civilized society does not have a publicly regulated health care. So the host country have always used racism, discrimination, and the platform of immigrations to go after and victimize Nigerians. Let me just narrow it down. Look at just take they change the policy of saying a workers' visa that has been in existence for before Nigerian became flawed in it. If you have a working, so the host country capitalized on that discriminatory act without addressing the policy. If the UK government really wants to stop migration today, there are a couple of things they can do. Number one, when going to, let's look at the nonsense school fees. When you go and study nursing and get it paid for, and you get paid while you do, they change that. Simply because they realize, no, majority of those doing that, and we're paying to these people. Most of our children are not doing that. That's before used to be majority people were able to get into universities. When the government changed that, the whole idea was to cripple families of minority not to go to school. They didn't anticipate that minority family would take the student loan. That's why the student loan allow a lot of minority to get into better school, to a better university, do better course. Before, if you're minority black, you want to do medicine, engineering, there was no funding for you. There's no even opportunity for you. So minority people to study whatever and try to apply to any university. Now you are the customer. It's not the state or the university that control the finance. It's you. If you do not apply, they don't have the money. Hence the reason why the university decided to open up their university to foreign students. You understand? So that's it. That's the only reason they decide, you know what, because the money is no more there. So the student don't allow minority to apply for the loan. They're now making it very stringent and difficult. Graduate, if the student loan wasn't there, they would not have had access to funding to get a publicly funded education because it will be based on have the funds for you. But if you're from the white tree local government, you have the money. They will not even be able to apply to certain courses because the funding will not be there from your local government to get. So student loan eliminated all that. Does it also disadvantage the average white who have enjoyed the privilege to just for the color of their skin to get into the best schools, to get the best schools, get all the funding? Now it's no more there. You just get the general funding like everybody has applied to the same school with qualification. If you can. Look at the school in Peckham that majority of the students are Nigerians, that they all got A+ and went to Cambridge and Oxford from Peckham. From Peckham. And those kids are second generation Nigerian kids. Their parents are still very rooted Nigerian person. They said below them as well. One school, just one school is in Peckham. One school. They went to Ivy League school. Produce first-class students. to keep the minority down, but somehow we're breaking through. The host countries are capitalizing on that. If all Africans were to, let me just UK today, UK economy, look at what's happening to France. Why complaining? Oh, before. Now, African countries are French countries, and France have strong hold. They're not breaking away from Niger to Mali and whatnot. Guess what the former French finance minister said? He said Macron was, I'm paraphrasing, something too stupid or too crazy that he allowed the Africans to wake up or wise up. So basically, say Macron allowed the Africans to open their eyes. That's why they're taking back their resources. Niger, they suffered or they're selling for $200 in the market. Niger was getting less than 70 cents. And France will take it to France, sell for $200. Even Mali does not even, I think it's Mali also. Their currency, they don't even have power to have their own saving. They have their central bank in France. They use French. They will borrow their own money. Now, some French people are angry with Macron. So they're angry with Macron that the Africans are waking up. And so it's Macron's fault because he's taking back their country and their power. So imagine all Jamaicans. They say, you know what? We're going to start holding on strongly to our Jamaican. We're going to start going home. You're going to start building homes there. Just like Nigeria. The level of respect will come. We'll not have people like Kevin Barnard or the two former Home Secretary who are self-hating people who want to be accepted by the mainstream white society, with everything they do or say is to hate their fellow self, themselves, and everything, so that they can be accepted. And those are the people they accept. Unlike people like Dan Abbott. You see the difference? And we cannot that it doesn't happen in Nigeria as well. If you look at the north and the south of Nigeria, they're so very much not different either. And Hausa man will say Igbo cannot rule. I know that's a different story, but that's also so. For me, discrimination that we face here by host countries is something that we can easily outgrow. The right of return. The moment they know we are happy to go back and start preaching it, this will change. They will change. They need you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my very own brother. Thank you so much. We are almost.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. We have come to the end of today's program. I'm going to ask you my very last questions, and I also want you to use this as your closing remark for my audience to understand where we are today as citizens of the great country of Nigeria and from the continent of Africa. In your own words, for your own mouth, I want me to tell my audience and Nigerians in the diaspora, what will be your advice to them as per selling of their properties.
I can't hear what you say.
Can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can hear you
me?
now. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I
Okay.
can
I
hear you now.
said
Go
in
ahead.
your
Yes.
own. I said I want you to use this as your closing remark. From your own mouth and in your own words. I want our people hear from you. What be your advice? What you go advise this generation and the one we will come after this one when it comes to issue of selling everything where they don't work for all their life just to relocate to where they think say the grass they more greener. In a nutshell, where people think life is more beautiful than where, which advice you will give them in your own words? I want me to hear from you. You
It's
have the floor.
nothing but my advice. I believe in reference to Nigerians. If that's correct, you've gone off the air again. I believe what you're asking me, what's my
Can you hear
advice
me?
to Nigerians? I can hear you,
Yes,
but you keep going off and
that's
on.
it. I don't know why. Yeah, the enemy is
Okay,
trying
good.
to interrupt the system,
My,
but we must
my
prevail
simple
over them.
advice to
The good,
Nigeria is very, very simple. Courage. I'm not going to discourage anybody who wants to leave not to leave because the situation is die hard. I'm not going to discourage anyone who have the opportunity to leave or to stay. But what what I'm going to do, amen.
we can hear you. We can hear you. Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. Well,
We can hear you.
I can hear you, so I keep cutting off and on. What I'm
Yeah,
going to say to
just go ahead.
Nigerians,
Go ahead with your
so
closing
both at
remark.
home
We
and
can
in
hear
the
you.
diaspora, what I'm going to say to Nigerians is, both most especially at home, is that I'm not going to discourage anyone travel not to travel. I'm not going to discourage anyone who have the desire to leave the country not to leave. But what I'm going to do is to encourage those who chose to stay behind, who chose to try to find it. Those are the people I'm appealing to. Don't give up. Don't give up. Look for something on how to expand. If you're in Lagos, if Lagos no money, go to the village. If the village did not pay you, go to the next village. Don't give up. Nigeria will get better. Join a local community leaders. Join a local party. Contribute. Add to the discussion. Let your voice be heard and take opportunity to challenge leaders who have been there and have contributed nothing. There's some professional election leaders. Every election year, they run around, they collect money from aspirants and everything, keep it in their pocket, and do nothing. You need to challenge them to bring change. Now that they passed the law to develop power to local community chairman, local government chairman, and the government taking the state governor to court. The time will come. Your local chairman will become very powerful. They control the finance and development of that local community. And that is where you need to be. You need to be telling your own community leaders. We need to choose a local chairman and deliver the service we need. And that's very important. Don't give up on Nigeria. Help is coming. I'm coming home to join you too soon. Help best. Hello, I don't know. I think we should.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. If you can see me waving, that means I can hear you.
It keeps freezing and everything. So I think we should just try to connect.
Yeah, Becca. Yeah, Becca, I can hear you. Anyway, I think we just our brother just lost his connection on the live stream program. Anyway, we've come to the end of today's edition of this program. One thing I want to say for a fact is that it's not all that glitters that is good. And I urge every Nigerians, every Africans to type the word migrant under siege on Amazon. Go on Amazon, the word migrant under siege. There's a book called Migrant on the Siege. You'll be able to learn from that book. If you can purchase that book, you read some of the mind-blogging information that you can never find anywhere. There are quite a lot of information on that book, very useful. That book was written by my humble self for the children of the African nation, Nigerian and African nations, for them to learn that it's not all that glitters are gold. So I'm encouraging you all to read that book. It is history, it is literature, it is a fact. You will never find any of the information on that book and any of the public media. That's one of the reasons that those in the high authority are coming after me. If anything were to happen to me as a person, remember what I said on this program. It's all about that book, Migrant on the Siege. Until next time, same time, until next week, same time, same place, I remain your humble brother. Pray.